Hi, today I'm going to be reading Deuteronomy chapters 21, 22, 23, and I'll also be reading Psalm 60 for the one story that leads to Jesus' Bible reading plan. Today's reading introduces laws about Israel's civil life, some of which seem bizarre or unjust by modern standards. Keep in mind that God gives these instructions in a culture very different from our own. Seeing God's command in context helps us see how Yahweh invites people to standards of justice that far surpass those of their surrounding world. The laws in today's reading consistently place the needs of the weak above the desires of the powerful. Many ancient Near Eastern societies valued women like property or livestock, allowing men to use, abuse, or simply discard them. In that kind of context, Israel's laws grant women a sort of dignity, likely seen as extreme or even offensive at the same time, or at the time. For example, while God allows Israelite men to marry war captives, a common practice then, he insists they respect these women, provide space to mourn, and treat them like as wives with legal rights. Israel's laws also protect wives from angry husbands making false accusations and demand justice for victims of sexual assault. Other vulnerable groups also receive legal protections. The law requires Israelites to protect escaped enslaved people instead of returning them to their masters. And prohibitions against charging interest place a poor person's need for resource over a rich person's desire for profit. God stands up for the weak and powerless, and his laws command the Israelites to do the same. Over and over, his instructions reveal deep value for all people, regardless of social status, and a desire for people to take care of each other and bless one another. All right, chapter 21, Atonement for an Unresolved Murder. If someone is found slain, lying in a field in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess, and it is not known who the killer was, your elders and judges shall go out and measure the distance from the body to the neighboring towns. Then the elder of the town nearest to the body shall take a heifer that has never been worked and has never worn a yoke, and lead it down to the valley that has not been plowed or planted, and where there is a flowing stream. There in the valley they are to break the heifer's neck. The Levitical priests shall step forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister and to pronounce blessings in the name of the Lord and to decide all cases of dispute and assault. Then all the elders of the town nearest the body shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. And they shall declare, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Accept this atonement for your people, Israel, whom you have redeemed, Lord, and you do not hold your people guilty of the blood of an innocent person. Then the bloodshed will be atoned for, and you will have purged from yourself the guilt of shedding innocent blood, since you have done what is right in the eyes of the Lord. Marrying a captive woman. When you go to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands, and you take captives, if you notice among the captives a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife, bring her into your home, and have her shave her head, trim her nails, and put aside the clothes she was wearing when captured. After she has lived in your house and mourned her father and mother for a full month, then you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. If you are not pleased with her, let her go wherever she wishes. You must not sell her or treat her as a slave, since you have dishonored her. The right of the firstborn. If a man has two wives, and he loves one but not the other, and both bear him sons, but the firstborn is the son of the wife he does not love, when he wills his property when he wills his property to his sons, he must not give the rights of the firstborn to the son of the wife he loves in preference to his actual firstborn, the son of the wife he does not love. He must acknowledge the son of the unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double share of all he has. That son is the first sign of his father's strength. The right of the firstborn belongs to him. A rebellious son. If someone has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father and mother and will not listen to them when they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They shall say to the elders, "This son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard." Then all the men of his town are to stone him to death. You must purge the evil from among you. All Israel will hear of it and be afraid. Various laws. If someone guilty of a capital offense is put to death and their body is exposed on a pole, you must not leave the body hanging on the pole overnight. Be sure to bury it that same day, because anyone who is hung on a pole is under God's curse. You must not desecrate the land the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. Chapter 22. If you see your fellow Israelites' ox or sheep straying, do not ignore it, but be sure to take it back to its owner. If they do not live near you, or if you do not know who owns it, take it home with you and keep it until they come looking for it. Then give it back. Do the same if you find their donkey or cloak or anything else they have lost. Do not ignore it. If you see your fellow Israelites' donkey or ox fallen on the road, do not ignore it. Help the owner get it to its feet. A woman must not wear men's clothing, nor a man wears woman's clothing, for the Lord your God detests anyone who does this. If you come across a bird's nest beside the road, either in a tree or on the ground, and the mother is sitting on the young or on the eggs, do not take the mother with the young. You may take the young, but be sure to let the mother go, so that it may go well with you and you may have a long life. When you build a new house, make a parapet around your roof so that you may not bring the guilt of bloodshed on your house if someone falls from the roof. Do not plant two kinds of seed in your vineyard. If you do, not only the crops you plant, but also the fruit of the vineyard will be defiled. Do not plow with an ox and a donkey yoked together. Do not wear clothes of wool and linen woven together. Make tassels on the four corners of your cloaks you wear. Marriage violations. If a man takes a wife and, after sleeping with her, dislikes her and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, "I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity," then the young woman's father and mother shall bring to the town elders at the gate proof that she was a virgin. Her father will say to the elders, "I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he has slandered her and said, 'I did not find your daughter to be a virgin, but here is the proof of my daughter's virginity.' Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town, and the elders shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the young woman's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. She shall continue to be his wife. He must not divorce her as long as he lives. If, however, the charge is true and no proof of the young woman's virginity can be found, she shall be brought to the door of her father's house, and there the men of her town shall stone her to death. She has done an outrageous thing in Israel by being promiscuous while still in her father's house. You must purge the evil from among you. If a man is found sleeping with another man's wife, both the man who slept with her and the woman must die. You must purge the evil from Israel. If a man happens to meet in a town a virgin pledged to be married and he sleeps with her, you shall take both of them to the gate of the town and stone them to death. The young woman because she was in a town and did not scream for help, and the man because he violated another man's wife. You must purge the evil from among you. But if out in the country a man happens to meet a young woman pledged to be married and rapes her, only the man who has done this shall die. Do nothing to the woman. She has committed no sin deserving death. This case is like that of someone who attacks and murders a neighbor. For the man found the young woman out in the country, and though the though the betrothed woman screamed, there was no one to rescue her. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He has never divorced her as long as he lives. A man is not to marry his father's wife. He must not dishonor his father's bed. All right, I guess those are the rules. Let's see. I'm going to read this section here. How is Jesus' death foretold in Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 23? And that verse says, "Be sure to bury him that same day, because anyone who is hung on a tree is under God's curse." Hidden in Deuteronomy is yet another prophecy about the Messiah. He predicts the way in which the Savior would die and the length of time he would remain on the cross. Deuteronomy 21 verses 22 to 23 says that God cursed any man executed for breaking one of God's commands. His body hanging on a tree was a public display of judgment. Jesus took on this curse for all of humanity when he died on the cross or the tree. Fulfilling the prophecy in Deuteronomy 21:23, the Apostle Paul reiterates this concept in Galatians 3:13. Deuteronomy 21:23 also commanded that the offender's body not be left on the tree overnight. And as we know from the Gospels, Jesus' body was taken down and placed into the tomb before nightfall. All right, moving on to chapter 23. Exclusion from the assembly. No one who has been emasculated by crushing or cutting may enter the assembly of the Lord. No one born of a forbidden marriage, nor any of their descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord, not even in the 10th generation. No Ammonite or Moabite or any of their descendants may enter the assembly of the Lord, not even in the 10th generation. For they did not come to meet you with bread and water on your way when you came out of Egypt, and they hired Balaam, son of Beor, from Pethor in Aram Naharaim, to pronounce a curse on you. However, the Lord your God would not listen to Balaam, but turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. Do not seek a treaty of friendship with them as long as you live. Do not despise an Edomite, for the Edomites are related to you. Do not despise an Egyptian, because you resided as foreigners in their country. The 3rd generation of children born to them may enter the assembly of the Lord. Uncleanness in the camp. When you are encamped against your enemies, keep away from everything impure. If one of your men is unclean because of a nocturnal emission, he is to go outside the camp and stay there. But as evening approaches, he is to wash himself. As the sun set, he may return to the camp. Designate a place outside the camp where you can go to relieve yourself. As part of your equipment, have something to dig with. And when you relieve yourself, dig a hole and cover up your excrement. For the Lord your God moves about in your camp to protect you and to deliver your enemies to you. Your camp must be holy, so that he will not see among you anything indecent and turn away from you. Miscellaneous laws. If a slave has taken refuge with you, do not hand them over to their master. Let them live among you whenever you like and in whatever town they choose. Do not oppress them. No Israelite man or woman is to become a shrine prostitute. You must not bring the earnings of a female prostitute or a male prostitute into the house of the Lord your God to pay any vow, because the Lord your God detests them both. Do not charge a fellow Israelite interest, whether on money or food or anything else that may earn interest. You may charge a foreigner interest, but not a fellow Israelite, so that the Lord your God may bless you in everything that you put your hand to in the land you are entering to possess. If you make a vow to the Lord your God, do not be slow to pay it, for the Lord your God will certainly demand it of you, and you will be guilty of sin. But if you refrain from making a vow, you will not be guilty. Whatever your lips utter, you must be sure to do, because you made your vow freely to the Lord your God with your own mouth. If you enter your neighbor's vineyard, you may eat all the grapes you want, but do not put any in your basket. If you enter your neighbor's grain field, you may pick kernels with your hands, but you must not put a sickle to their standing grain. All right, I'll read this section on objective moral values. Objective moral values can be discovered by using the yuck factor. The yuck factor comes into play when you don't even have to think through certain issues. We have we have a strong visceral revulsion against, say, rape or child abuse. We don't hem and haw by saying, oh, well, maybe rape is okay in some contexts. We know immediately on a gut level that rape is wrong. This is evidence that there are objective moral values that aren't the product of sociobiological evolution. They are valid and binding for everyone, not just for people in some cultures. And we should take intuitions about these moral values seriously. In Romans 2, Paul says that even though Gentiles weren't given the law of Moses, their conscience beats witness, or their conscience bears witness, alternately accusing or else defending them, because the law has been placed in their hearts. There is this moral law, and people with a well functioning conscience can get a lot of things right. As one author put it, there are things we can't not know. We'd have to suppress our conscience not to know those things. And that's exactly what Romans 1 is talking about. That people may suppress the truth in unrighteousness. They may even use reason to avoid certain moral implications for their own lives. But they themselves recognize that there's a degree or of self-deprecation going on for them to weasel out from their moral commitments. All right, moving on to Psalms 60. All right. For the director of music, to the tune of The Lily of the Covenant, a miktam of David for teaching when he fought Aram Naharaim and Aram Zobah, and when Joab returned and struck down 12,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt. You have rejected us, God, and burst upon us. You have been angry. Now restore us. You have shaken the land and torn it open, mend its fractures, for it is quaking. You have shown your people desperate times. You have given us wine that makes us stagger. But for those who fear you, you have raised the banner to be unfurled against the bow. Save us and help us with your right hand, that those you love may be delivered. God has spoken from his sanctuary. In triumph, I will parcel out Shechem and measure off the valley of Sukkoth. Gilead, Gilead is mine, and Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my helmet, Judah is my scepter, Moab is my wash basin. On Edom I toss my sandal, on Philistia I shout in triumph. Who will bring me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Is it not you, God? You have now rejected us and no longer go out with our armies. Give us aid against the enemy, for human help is worthless. With God we will gain the victory, and he will trample down our enemies. All right, that's it for day 60 of the one story that leads to Jesus' Bible reading plan. Cheers.